and then throws it again. Hey, little schoolyard, right? Why not? Flags down on the play, and Lamar Mills was the one that batted it down.
Can't have two forward passes on the same play. Grbac threw it and got a completion. So now not only does he have his completion numbers, but now he's got a reception too.
Got to get those stats.
Watch this. All right, there's the pass. Here comes his first reception of the game. Another completion. That's the way to do it. Then he throws it out of bounds. The flag's fly. They've got a punt.
1 for 2 on the same play, huh?
See, Elvis says this game's in hand. It's 31-3. Let me build my stats a little bit.
Elvis, thank you very much. Stapleton into punt it, standing on his own 8-yard line. And Scott McGowan is back on his 35 for Indiana.
Indiana looks like it has the punt block on. We'll see. Everybody up, just one back.
They blocked 2 this year. Stapleton gets off a nice punt. He's done a fine job this afternoon. This one is high all the way back to the 26. And McGowan is brought back at the 31-yard line. A 51-yard boom by Stapleton. 5 yards on the return.
Chevrolet announces just about the last thing you'd expect from a car company: lower prices. Believe it or not, this is for real. Chevrolet is lowering the price of every new 1993 Cavalier Coupe, Sedan, Wagon, and Z24 Coupe. No gimmicks or hassles, just straight talk and lower prices. Surprised? You shouldn't be. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
These extinct relics of American business remind us that waste and inefficiency don't pay. And that while perhaps it used to be impressive to throw money around, today it's more impressive not to. A timely reminder from the only company that guarantees 10:30 overnight delivery for up to 40% less, UPS.
Hitachi. Oh, wait, I should know what they make. I shop all the time.
Hitachi makes escalators and 20,000 other sophisticated products. Hitachi.
She's trapped by terrorists. Her only hope is a cook.
Oh, God, we're gonna die.
Steven Seagal, Tommy Lee Jones, an adventure that's this year's most exciting motion picture event, Under Siege, rated R. Now playing at a theater near you.
In the AFC Central, nothing comes easy. The Cincinnati Bengals roar into Pittsburgh to battle the Steelers. Live on ABC's Monday Night Football.
The Hoosiers, 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Single back set. Play action by Green. Under heavy fire and down right around the line of scrimmage. Michigan dominating this afternoon, but they have been penalized just a little bit.
Well, we talked about that a few minutes ago. If they do have a downfall, if they do have a weakness, it is that they are the second highest rated penalty team in the Big Ten. Look at this. Second most in the Big Ten. Not only that, but also their turnover rate. They lead the league there. They've got a league high 14 turnovers in 5 games coming into this one.
A loss of 2 on that last play. Michigan trying to get a player off the field. Lewis in motion. Green. Ouch, that one hurt. Back at the 15-yard line. Now long distance back to New York and John Saunders. John?
Mark, number 8, Stanford is in deep trouble. Billy Johnson here, the first time they get their hands on the ball in the second half. 33 yards on the touchdown. They lead 21-6. Mark.
All right, John, an Arizona ambush in Palo Alto, California. Taking some of the steam out of Bill Walsh's crew, who in 2 weeks go up to Seattle to take on Washington. Handoff in 3rd and 25. They get a few back. That was Batts, the freshman.
3rd and 25 and a run with Batts. I think what they're trying to do is do the unexpected, but now I think it's beyond that. They've just got to throw.
Well, it's been a tough year in the Big Ten. Their interconference record has been kind of weak. We asked the coach about the Big Ten and it being down, and here's what he had to say about it.
I still feel the league's good. I still feel it's quality. And yet, too, you have to say that Michigan probably sits up there a notch above the rest of us. Time will tell. But I like to think you're going to see some other teams come on and be pretty good teams by the end of the season.
Well, I think he makes a good point when he talks about the Big Ten. Number one, they've got the worst record against non-conference opponents among the 8 major leagues. Only Michigan's in the top 25 this week, and they haven't had a national championship since 1968 in this conference.
She doesn't want to go back to work for a while. She likes staying home with the baby.
How old's the baby now?
She's 2 months old tomorrow. I swear she's a genius.
Yeah.
No catchy jingles. No images of snow-capped mountains.
She got lucky, I guess.
No rock stars.
Another Heineken?
No sports stars. None of that is what made Heineken the #1 imported beer in America.
So you like being a dad?
I wouldn't trade it for anything. You gotta try it.
You sound just like my in-laws.
When you publish thousands of newsletters a week, color is out of the question.
Invest in the fastest highlight color laser printer and come to a different conclusion. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
Our sales figures were confusing. No one understood them.
With our digital color copier, you get the clarity of color with the stroke of a pen and touch of a screen. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
In 1993, you'll have over 500 new car models to choose from, and you can be pretty sure that most of them will cost more than they did last year. But this one won't. The Lumina Euro Sedan from Chevrolet. You'll find the features you're looking for, but you won't find a higher number on the sticker. This year's Lumina, last year's prices. Pretty ingenious, huh? What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
This is amazing. They aren't even looking at the field anymore. Look at these people. These are the ones that are, at least they stayed. This was the first sellout crowd they've had here all year, and you can see how many people have left.
A lot of the people, Tim, went to the bathroom, didn't come back.
Either that or just disguised as empty seats.
Grbac still in the building, and he's down at the 34-yard line. You know, I believe that's the first sack of the afternoon for the Indiana defense. They had 9 last week.
A lot of folks have stayed, though. You know, we joke about it, but Bill Mallard was talking on his radio show. He would like to see the students here take more of an interest in the football team because he says his team needs their support.
Rather than some of the overzealous tailgating sometimes.
Well, that's right. And I think some of them, most of them, a lot of them have left to get an early start.
2nd down and 12. Past the mustard. Tyrone Wheatley out to the 41-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley certainly a candidate for our Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game award. At the conclusion of today's game, we'll be selecting a Chevy MVP of the Game award from each team. And for the 22nd year through the Chevy Scholarship Program, $1,000 will be donated to the General Scholarship Fund of each school.
Well, if you've missed him in the first half, Wheatley has 116 yards, Mark, so you're exactly right. And I mean to tell you, if you missed him in the first half, shame on you. 2 touchdowns, sensational.
Under pressure, Grbac goes down for the 2nd time this afternoon. Lamar Mills was the first one on the scene. A loss of 12 yards. Michigan was going to have to punt.
Now, we saw last week where Virginia had a 28-0 lead on Clemson and then lost that edge, and that happens when you have a big lead. This is one of the few times that Michigan's had to punt the entire game, and you wonder now, have they lost a little bit of the edge, the intensity they had early on because it's so lopsided?
Well, it's happened a couple of times this season for Michigan. Stapleton with the punt back to the 31-yard line. McGowan dancing and tiptoeing his way out to the 37, and the flag's down on the field. Well, coming up next Saturday, ABC's college football continues. Ohio State against Michigan State in the Big Ten. Penn State, West Virginia. We will be down in College Station as A&M takes on Baylor. Our ACC game is Georgia Tech against North Carolina, and a Pac-10 game to be announced next Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern Time on ABC.
R.C. Slocum's Texas A&M team.
Illegal block in the back, above the waist, on the return team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Aggies still unbeaten. A schedule conducive to keep them that way.
Greg Hill, an outstanding running back, and Granger now starting to find his timing a little bit. The quarterback for A&M.
No, man, let's go, let's go.
8:05 remaining in the third quarter. Trips left formation for Indiana. Green ends up being planted at the 12-yard line by Hutchinson.
Chris Hutchinson came into this game. He's a great football player, academic All-American as well. He's the captain of the team, kinesiology major. He wants to go to medical school. He had 7 tackles last week, including 2 sacks. He started 31 straight games. And whether he's down or up, tackle or end, he's tough. Look at him here. He goes down here. He's got 3 sacks. Played a little game. He comes in behind. That's a mismatch. There isn't a back that's going to step up into a hole and take Hutchinson, who's 6'2", 251, and has that agility, and stop him.
He's turning Green into the human rototiller. Here's Law now. And Brett Law busts a nice run out to the 33-yard line, a pickup of 18.
See, he's walking gingerly, too. Brett Law was not expected to play today. He has a shoulder injury, hurt it in the game last week. He is the leading rusher, came into this game with 343 yards, 240 yards against Missouri, but they needed him today, so here he is in the second half.
The injured player, Tim, on the field is Pat Maloney. 6'2", 194-pound senior. He's the strong safety that plays behind Shante Peoples.
Here it is again. This is the tail end of it. Here's Law's run, and then here comes the hit by Maloney, 43. Puts his right shoulder into him. Now watch how his body twists as the force of Law and his own man, Ware, come down on him. I'll tell you this about Maloney. He and Peoples, they share time at the strong safety spot, so Gary Moeller can keep his guys fresh.
Got a talented cast back there. Right now, let's go back to New York and John Saunders with this update.
Mark, TCU in Miami, and Gino Torretta hooks up with Horace Copeland, who just outruns his man to the end zone. Miami leading 24-3 at halftime. Mark.
Okay, John, Miami keeping an eye on those poll voters. I tell you, it is so close. Wouldn't that be something if both Miami and Washington did what they did last year, repeating?
How about this, the air attack? These guys are coming into the stadium, hot air balloons.
I saw some guns outside, those big boat guns.
Now don't get people excited now. It's Memorial Stadium.
Number 43 for Michigan, ladies and gentlemen, Pat Maloney.
Central Michigan big today. Western Michigan sneaks one in. Tell you this, I am sold on Michigan. Going after their 16th straight road win. 17-0-1 in conference road games.
And it looks like they're about to snap Indiana's 7-game winning streak here at Memorial Stadium. 31-3 with 6:55 remaining. Green steps up and goes down at the 32.
Of course, that time you just mentioned is in the third quarter. It's remaining in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the thing about Michigan, this defense is quick, but it's a smart defense as well. And knowing where to go makes you quick. There are more blitzes, man-to-man coverage. They're doing a whole lot more. It has improved dramatically over last year. And again, we reiterate the fact that it's more speed.
Just saw Gary Moeller. If he should win this game, if they should hang on, he will be over 500 overall for the first time as a head coach. Shannon Rutledge punting it, and Mercury Hayes at the 25. He returns it to the 35 yards after that 42-yard punt. Still 31-3. 6:08 remaining in the third quarter.
This isn't your typical car commercial. There's no beautiful scenery, no winding roads. Hey, there's not even a car. But there is news. Geo is lowering prices on the Metro Coupe, sedan, and the XFI. So now the car that gets the highest gas mileage in America is also the car with the lowest price, which is pretty beautiful, even without pictures. Get to know Geo Metro at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
I'm gonna love you forever.
These days, more of us are planning long-term relationships with our cars. That's why millions are driving with Slick 50 engine formula. Slick 50 is guaranteed to help protect against wear, like no motor oil can, especially at startup when engine wear is at its worst. Treat your engine with Slick 50 so your long-term relationship can last even longer.
Forever and ever, amen.
He's outlined the problems facing our nation and has solutions to get us back on track. He's captivated America in the presidential debates. Now meet the man behind the movement. A Visit with Ross Perot. Saturday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central.
Hitachi. They make, Oh, great shot. Now, what was I saying?
Hitachi makes camcorders and 20,000 other products worth celebrating. Hitachi.
Flashback time, homecoming 1987. The Hoosiers had not beaten the Wolverines since '67. With 9 minutes left in the third quarter, Dave Schnell scores from 3 yards out, and then the Hoosier D holds Michigan on 4th and 7 with a nice tackle there to secure their second victory in just 25 years. And that was the last time that they beat Michigan. A long time between drinks of water since that time. 1st and 10 now for the Wolverines. Nice run out to the 37-yard line by Tyrone Wheatley.
Indiana's defense has done a nice job, though, in the second half, as defenses have all year against this Michigan club. See the time remaining in the third quarter, and to this point, all Michigan.
Wheatley now 17 rushes, 123 yards.
You see what's happened this year. This is what we were just talking about. Look how strong the Wolverines are in the first half, and then in the second half, things drop off significantly. But for the most part, to be brutally honest, they've had big leads in the first half and haven't needed that production.
Yeah, they pulled the chute at halftime. Wheatley now out to the 48-yard line. The tackle made by Damon Watts and Chris Dyer. Pickup of 12 that time, but there's a flag down.
You know, in the offseason, Tyrone Wheatley added 20 pounds, studies and reads, and he didn't lose any speed at all. Reads very, very quickly now. He knows what his keys are, and he picks them up and reacts to them. And being stronger and just as fast.
That all-important vision if you're going to be a good tailback.
Well, not only that, but he's 6'1", 225 pounds, so he's got great size and uses that size. But he also has a low center of gravity, and he's got terrific balance.
Came into the ball game leading this Michigan team in scoring, had 48 points.
Got 10 touchdowns now on the year.
Guy's not even sweating. Come on. That's not fair.
Might have gotten poked in the eye.
Only a sophomore. The ball's at the 32-yard line after the penalty. It's 1st down 25. A little mix-up on the handoff. This is Jesse Johnson powering it out to the 42-yard line.
I don't think it was a mix-up. I think he came out with a reverse pivot and just gave it to Johnson. You know, some things never change. Michigan still runs the ball down your throat, but the Wolverines are using that more speed that we've talked about more than ever before, and I think this is the best running game Michigan's had since I've been following them anyway.
Tim, looking at Wheatley on the sidelines, he said just what you had thought about, that he had gotten a finger in the eye from one of the Indiana players. He's motioning that to the trainer. 2nd down, 16 to go. The back set in the offset eye. Foster in motion. They'll look for the screen pass to Jesse Johnson in a load of traffic, and he's tackled right at the 43-yard line by Steve Perkins.
I'll tell you this, old Al Thurman, the leading tackler on the Indiana defense, he came after him and actually high jumped him, went right over top of him.
1 yard on the pass play. 3rd down, Michigan.
3rd down, 15 to go. Elvis Grbac took the opening snap, has been quarterback since. Trips right formation for Michigan. Elvis steps up wide open over the middle, Alexander. And a 1st down at the 34-yard line of Indiana, tackled by Dyer. A pickup of 23 yards. And on and on and on marches the offense.
Talking to the coaches coming into this game, Mallory was not been happy with his secondary. You see here that he gets one-on-one coverage. It's not even close. I mean, as soon as Richardson, number 10, lets him go in the zone, then he gets into the seam where Dyer's supposed to be the safety, and he's wide open. One thing that Alexander does, as well as anybody I've seen, is separate from defenders. And in the zones, he finds the air, the open spaces.
Really kind of looks like he's gliding, too.
Reverse.
And here it comes, Mercury Hayes. Cuts it back up inside, down to the 29. Hayes, the freshman, tackled at the 29-yard line. Damon Watts making the stop that time.
You know, it's hard to believe. This is the first time this year that Michigan has played on artificial turf. They worked on it Wednesday and Thursday and didn't figure it would be much of a problem, and it hasn't been. But, of course, that stadium used to have artificial turf in Michigan, and now this is the first time they played. As you look at the rushing yards, again, total domination.
Backside of the eye this time. Alexander split to the bottom of your screen. Grbac hands it off to Davis. And Davis powers it down to the 20. Right now, back to New York and John Saunders. John?
Number 26 carry, that's Davis.
Mark, Tennessee trying to march back against Alabama. Heath Schuler here with a little fake and then tosses the bullet to David Horn. 3 yards. There's about 13 minutes left. Mark.
Tennessee trying to rebound still, I think, Tim, from that loss to Arkansas.
You realize Alabama had not given up a touchdown. The defense had not given up a touchdown all year until today.
And Tim, another upset in the making right there. Arizona over Stanford. And Jesse Johnson takes the handoff. And he moves the ball down to the 16-yard line, tackled by Damon Watts.
Good strong tackle by Watts, too.
That offensive line for Michigan has really done a job. They deserve a lot of the credit for the running backs. Jenkins, Skeen, Everitt, Kakuzo, Doherty.
Jenkins 298, Skeen 294, Everitt 291, Kakuzo 294, and Doherty 298. That's bigger than most NFL lines.
Red beans and rice, my man. Johnson in motion. Grbac goes to him. The pass is complete. And it'll be marked back at the 17-yard line. He actually caught it at the 14, trying to make a move and ended up losing a few yards.
Here's Grbac, and of course he's had a hot hand today. He's 12 of 16. See the stripes on their helmets, Mark? That was designed by Fritz Chrysler so that the quarterbacks could see their receivers better. So it's almost like a fluorescent stripe, a wild stripe, the 3 stripes on the helmet, so that the quarterbacks can pick out the receivers.
Looks good, too.
Fritz Chrysler had some design ahead of his time.
3rd down and 6 to go. 1 minute left in the 3rd quarter. Into the end zone, Grbac for Alexander. Touchdown, Michigan. Derrick Alexander does it again.
Told you last year Desmond Howard had 3 touchdowns against Indiana.
Tim, there's a flag back at the 22-yard line.
Well, that's right. Alexander trying to do that today, but this is going to go against the Wolverines, and they'll bring him back.
A nice-looking play, nonetheless. Do you think Gary Moeller is let up? I don't think so.
No, but that's why he's such a strong coach, outstanding teacher, and he doesn't want him to lose that edge or let up. Grbac puts this thing right out. Look at Alexander. He takes Watts inside, number 5, then breaks to the outside, and it's, again, what we said. If I'm even, I'm leaving. You take a guy with that speed against Watts, you put him in a foot race when they're even like that, and he'll beat him every time.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 3rd down.
Watch Elvis now. He knows he's got a touchdown, but now he sees the flag. Look at him. Oh, come on, ref. Give us a break.
Hurts the numbers, too.
Yeah, see, he's happy, though. He got a reception today.
16-yard penalty. Tim, you know, you talk about separation and how well Derrick Alexander runs his patterns. You hear the word used so much. What exactly does it mean when you talk about separation?
Well, obviously, the defensive back wants to stay in your hip pocket, and if you can get a yard or anything past him, that is the separation. You use your body, just like in basketball. Like, that's not even a contest there because he found open air and didn't have tight coverage. But you want to keep your body between the defender and the ball, and if anything you can separate from that defender is total separation.
Walter Smith on the reception. 4th down, and in comes the field goal unit. This one coming from 38 yards out. He's already made one today. And now Michigan calls a timeout.
Michigan, they're first.
That's not going to make Gary happy either. He's saying, why? Why are you taking the timeout?
You know, speaking with Gary Moeller, Tim, a couple of weeks ago against Iowa before the game, and even this week, he really seems to have put his stamp on the Michigan team and the Michigan program. With all due respect to Bo Schembechler, who was an outstanding coach, did a lot for the program, really is Michigan football. Gary Moeller really has control of this program.
Well, you know, he is a good coach. 23-5-1 now in his 3rd year. Good, solid coach. But everybody forgets, like so many other great coaches, Moeller had some rocky times too. At Illinois, for instance, between 77 and 79, he went 6, 24, and 3. Well, that helps develop you. It gives you some backbone, some spine. I mean, you know what you've done wrong now. Now you try to rebuild and regroup, and he's done that. The people that fight through the bad times and persevere that become successful, and he certainly has done that. Can't help but think back his first game in Michigan. It was against Notre Dame, primetime game. I did it. And the thing was, they had a big lead. They lost that game. But they haven't lost many since.
Not at all. Pelosa back from 38. Missed it. And Moeller told us before the game he wasn't happy with their kicking game, and there you see part of the reason why. Another look at this one. He just hooked it.
Good snap, good hold. And you're right, he just missed it. Never did get it up. He has been erratic.
Now 3 of 7 on the year.
Well, coming into this game, he was 2 for 3 inside the 30. But outside the 30, he hadn't hit one until his first one here today.
Tim, when you think of field goal kickers and place kicking, Bobby Bowden's name comes up. Florida State, 2 years in a row. Really almost a part of the game that is sometimes overlooked. First down and 10. They give it to the tailback, who bounces it outside. That's Batts. And he's tackled at the 27. I would now like to pause 5 seconds to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves.
5-yard gain by Michael Batts.
Mark Jones, Tim Brandt here in Bloomington, Indiana. The Hoosiers scored the first 3 points of the ball game, and since that time, Michigan has stormed back with 31 unanswered points as we have 9 seconds to go in the period. Batts in motion. Green complete to the tight end. Hales at the 30-yard line, and that'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter for Indiana. Tackle made by Ware. We'll return with more action between Michigan and Indiana after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Most people know State Farm sells car and homeowners insurance. Some people don't know State Farm sells life insurance too. I'm State Farm agent Cecil Burt. Our life insurance policies, our prices, and our financial ability to deliver on our promises, plus the good neighbor service State Farm agents are famous for, have made State Farm one of the largest of all life insurance companies and an outstanding life insurance value.
State Farm sells life insurance.
In the beginning, there was only one vehicle of its kind. Today, it's the only one to combine a lease this powerful with one this secure, this comfortable, and this affordable. The extraordinary Chevy S-Blazer lease plan. From the extraordinary vehicle that originated the species, Chevy Blazer.
Sunday.
I'm difficult.
Challenging,
I'm too structured. I'm completely closed off.
But in a good way. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan, When Harry Met Sally, Sunday.
It's important to look at the total picture when considering a candidate. I've been in the Army, worked in business, and raised a family. And I bring all of those experiences to bear on my decisions, like my support for school prayer. While I believe in the separation of church and state, it's just crazy that a prayer in the locker room or at graduation should be illegal. Joe Hogsett disagrees. He supports the Supreme Court decision against voluntary school prayer at graduation. And that's just another of the differences between us.
You've heard it a million times, but when you buy a furnace, you get what you pay for. Cutting corners on quality is no way to cut energy bills. You've got to look at the long term. That's why we recommend Lennox. A Lennox furnace, combined with Snuffy's installation, will more than pay for itself in the long run. Now that's value for your money.
Call Paul E. Smith Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning for Lennox quality, service, and savings.
Ross Perot's back on the air tonight while Bush and Clinton rest up. The story's at 6.
Well, Mark Jones and Tim Brandt back in beautiful Bloomington, Indiana. And it is all Michigan so far, 31-3. A beautiful fall afternoon.
It is, but it has been all Michigan. You're right about that. Indiana just outmatched today.
Trent Green still at quarterback. And the ball's on the ground. Michigan has recovered the fumble. Indiana with its third turnover of the afternoon. And Mallory is saying that Batts was down, that he hit the carpet first. One of the officials already has singled Michigan, but now they're talking about the call.
Well, look at it by yourself. Here's 43 coming into the picture now. The ball's loose right there. See, now they're saying down by contact. That's a bad call because the ball was loose. Should have been a fumble. Maloney recovered. It should be Michigan's ball. Well, but it doesn't matter much, though, with the score 31-3. It's not going to change the complexion of the game.
But Tim, last year, Bill Mallory's team was on the other side of the calls, and he felt they got a raw deal, expressed his feelings. Received a $10,000 fine and or a one-game suspension from the Big Ten for the remarks he made about the officials.
Just that far, but you watch again. This ball looks like it's loose before he gets to the ground. Here comes Batts. Now the ball's loose right there. It's out of his hands before he ever does hit. And then Maloney made the recovery. You're right about last year. He either faced a $10,000 fine or a game suspension. Took the game suspension and sat out the following week. What that did was add a little extra emotion and spice to this game.
4th down and 1. They're going for it. Quarterback sneak. And Green has the first down. And we hear some cheers from what's left of the 52,000 people that saw this game from the beginning. Well, the story says all Michigan.
Big right there. 2 turnovers that turned into points immediately. Then you look up here, this is total domination. 196 yards to 29 in the rushing game. If you can't run the football, you can't win, because running the ball opens up the passing game as well.
Very balanced Michigan attack as well. 1st and 10 for the Hoosiers. Play action, Green to pass. Completes it to Law out of the backfield. He's tackled at the 38-yard line.
Give Brett Law a lot of credit. With that shoulder injury he hurt last week, was not even thinking about playing today. Instead, Pride and Batts were going to go. Look at those guys. It's cold out here today, too.
ABC. Some of your friends?
Not mine. You think their moms and dads are proud of him sitting out there. Saying, I thought I taught him better than that, Oscar.
Hey, wait up. How warm is it out there? Definitely not 66. Green on play action. Runs it himself. Has a lot of real estate. And is forced out of bounds at the 45.
Got another first down, though. They'll move the change. It stops the clock with 13:36 left in the game.
Well, looking ahead just a little bit for Indiana. Next week they move on to play Wisconsin. They have a big job ahead of them. They've got to regroup. Then they play at Minnesota, Iowa, Ohio State, and then at Purdue. That loss against Michigan State was very costly. They led in that game. Led big at one point. Bates in motion. Downfield they go to Lewis. And good safety play that time from Shante Peoples and Corwin Brown. Ty Law broke it up, though.
I'll tell you who really made the play. The weak cornerback, Ty Law, read it and came across. Watch this now. This is a well-thrown ball. And without great coverage, it's a completion because he hits him right in stride. Look at Green. I mean, you can almost count the revolutions. But then right there is Ty Law, number 22, and almost had the pick.
Ty Law looked like L.A. Law that time.
What they do is they get that great break on the ball. You know, Iowa's Hayden Fry said this was the best Michigan team he had ever seen.
A man who knows a bit about football. 2nd down and 10. Pass complete to the tight end, Ross Hales.
Hales is having a big afternoon. 7 catches, 51 yards.
Coleman Wallace made the tackle. Tremendous rushing defense, too, for the Wolverines. 67, 52, 70, 60, and 38 yards, respectively, against those opponents.
I'll tell you this, when you hold opponents under 100 yards rushing 5 straight weeks, that's saying something. Todd Collins warming up. It'll be a treat to watch him play.
I saw him a couple of weeks ago against Iowa. 3rd down and 4. Here's Law. And he takes it across midfield to the 48-yard line. And Elvis putting in a good day's work this afternoon.
Sure did. 13 for 17, 132 yards.
Came into the game, Tim, needing, I believe, 176 yards to become Michigan's all-time leading passer. So that'll have to wait a week. He's gunning for Jim Harbaugh's record. A pensive Gary Moeller on the sidelines. We have a timeout with 12:10 remaining in the 4th quarter. Michigan leads 31-3.
Chevrolet announces just about the last thing you'd expect from a car company: lower prices. Believe it or not, this is for real. Chevrolet is lowering the price of every new 1993 Cavalier Coupe, sedan, wagon, and Z24 Coupe. No gimmicks or hassles, just straight talk and lower prices. Surprised? You shouldn't be. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
The Postal Service would like to present 2-day priority mail. That's delivery in just 2 days of up to 2 pounds for just $2.90. Remember, 2 days, 2 pounds, $2.90. 2-day priority mail from your Postal Service.
We deliver for you.
For pickup service, call 1-800-222-1811.
Excuse me, the printer on your desk there, it's an HP LaserJet. Why?
Never really thought about it.
Well, look, somebody obviously thought about it. Somebody with a firm commitment to excellence, right?
Probably. Everyone here has an HP LaserJet printer.
And the fact that you don't think about your HP LaserJet kind of proves just how dependable it is, doesn't it?
That's a leading question. Are you an attorney?
Are you?
Yes. This is a law firm.
There you have it from an attorney at a leading law firm. HP LaserJet printers. If it isn't a LaserJet, it's only a laser printer.
Ohio State meets Big Ten rival Michigan State. Penn State invades West Virginia or other key conference matchups. It's regional action next Saturday on ABC's College Football.
No, we are not in Ann Arbor. We are in Bloomington, Indiana. But a lot of Michigan people made the trip. 5.5-hour drive to watch their team. They lead 31-3 with 12:10 remaining. Flags down, and it looks like motion against the Hoosiers.
Clay
Been
Williams,
that kind of afternoon for them.
Clay Williams again. That'll be his 2nd of the day.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You know, with a pause in the action, we want to pass along our best to Joe Jeanette, who turns 86 years of age today. The dad of our fearless director, Jim.
And Michigan alum.
Well, let's see. He went to Michigan. That would have put him back in the days of Tom Harmon, Elroy Hirsch, Pete Elliott.
Mercury Hayes will watch this one bounce at the 25, and it takes a Michigan bounce back to the 28-yard line. A 24-yard punt. Sunny skies, but a 31-3 Michigan lead.
Critics say pure country is pure gold. I was knocked out. Not since Marty Robbins and Gene Autry has a real singing cowboy ridden onto the movie screen. George Strait, Pure Country. Rated PG. Sneak preview October 17th.
In a world of constant change, there is one certainty. The financial strength of the rock. The Prudential Rock Solid.
Autumn, a time when trees cast new colors. A time for sharing warmth. And at McDonald's, we're doing just that. Sharing the warmth of our new oven-baked apple pies. A cinnamon-dusted crust with golden, delicious apple filling. And now when you buy one, your local McDonald's donates 25 cents to Ronald McDonald Children's Charities, who bring warmth and hope to kids everywhere. Try our new baked apple pie. It's a delicious way to warm your heart.
In 1993, you'll have over 500 new car models to choose from, and you can be pretty sure that most of them will cost more than they did last year. But this one won't. The Lumina Euro sedan from Chevrolet. You'll find the features you're looking for, but you won't find a higher number on the sticker. This year's Lumina, last year's prices. Pretty ingenious, huh? What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
From the Did You Know files, former Indiana running back Anthony Thompson is the only player in Indiana football history to have his number retired. 1989 first-team All-American is the Hoosier all-time leading rusher. And now with the Los Angeles Rams in the NFL.
5,300 career yards for Anthony Thompson, an average of almost 5 yards a carry. Quite a runner.
A lot of real estate. Making real green now. Todd Collins in a quarterback. And a nice reception by Toomer. Went up high, climbed the elevator to the top floor, and made the catch.
Todd Collins gave him a high ball that time, but he went up and got it. He is a terrific passer. You know, he threw for over 3,000 yards and 33 touchdowns, leading his Massachusetts high school to the state title. Just his motion, the way he moves. Toomer made a pretty good catch, too.
From the same hometown as Matt Rogers, the former Iowa quarterback.
Sign of things to come. Sophomore throwing to the freshman.
A handoff to Davis across the 40 to the 43-yard line. You know, had a chance to spend some time with Todd Collins a couple of weeks ago before the Iowa game, and really nice young kid. Very big, very strong, almost built like a linebacker. 6'5", 240 pounds. Look at Elvis Grbac.
That's what Elvis has to look forward to next week. He'll pass Jim Harbaugh in the record book. He already is Michigan's all-time leader in attempts, completions, and touchdown passes.
A handoff to Davis again. He's tackled about a yard behind the line of scrimmage by Jay Davis. Davis leading the team with 5 sacks coming into this ball game. Steve Everitt, the center, doing a great job. You know, Tim, Everitt had his jaw broken. We all know about that, and he had it screwed in and wired in. He was eating dinner with his parents a little while ago and felt something hard in his mouth, thought it was the food. Turns out that one of the screws came out while he was eating.
Oh, nice story.
Yeah, so his father says he's got a screw loose.
You know, I remember his freshman year, he broke his hand, his right hand, so he snapped the rest of the season with his left hand. He's talented,
Great
tough.
athlete.
Best ever, perhaps, at the University of Michigan, All-American. He's also an artist. He's got that artist disposition, too.
Playing
very mellow, very mellow.
Malvo with the reception across midfield down to the 48-yard line, and Everitt is favoring that right thumb of his.
He's always dinged up. You know, this is one of those guys that he gets hurt. He broke his hand, we told you, so he snapped with his left. Then next year he broke his left hand and he went back to his right. And he had that jaw screwed together, and now he's got that thumb banged up.
Hand it off to the tailback, Jesse Johnson, tight roping it down the sideline, stepping out of bounds at the 45.
You know, Mark, coming in, this was the 5th best rushing attack in the country. I think with Desmond Howard gone, the offense now is more balanced, if you can believe that.
They're showing it too, running and passing the ball well this season. Boy, one of the most exciting players in the country has to be David Palmer of Alabama. Great punt returner. First down and 10, 9.5 to play. Collins to pass out of the backfield in the flats to Jesse Johnson. And Johnson is tackled at the 43 by Morse Richardson and John Miller. Next Sunday, it's an international figure skating spectacular. Olympic medalist Nancy Kerrigan, top American Todd Eldridge, and the dynamic Kala Urbanski and Rocky Marvel compete against some of the world's hottest young stars. Sudafed Skate America International begins next Sunday at 4 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ABC Sports. It looks like Michigan has played this game on skates all afternoon if you're Indiana. Skating circles around it. Ball down to the 35. Ed Davis again, the freshman.
Just keep bringing the young kids in. You know, Michigan has a tradition of great receivers. Desmond Howard, Greg McMurtry, John Colser was here, Chris Callaway, Anthony Carter. We saw him earlier in one of the flashbacks. A lot of terrific receivers.
8:20 to play in the fourth quarter. Todd Collins seeing his first action of the afternoon, his first series here. It's Davis again. This time he's stacked up short of the first down, right at the 35. Chris Dyer, the free safety, made the tackle that time as Davis will check out. Michigan, meanwhile, next week takes on Minnesota, Golden Gophers. After that, it's a trip to Purdue, at Northwestern, Illinois, and as always, the big one against Ohio State to end the season. It might not be such an important game this year. Ohio State struggling. They're going for it on fourth down. Fourth and short, the fade pattern. Mercury Hayes incomplete.
Outstanding coverage by Richardson, because that was a well-thrown ball, but Richardson was in his hip pocket all the way and turned his head at the very last second to knock it away. Very nicely done.
Tried to hit Mercury Hayes, the freshman.
I say he's in his hip pocket. Look at this, playing him inside out. He's got his hand there to let him know where he is and looks back and goes after the pick. See, that's when Hayes turns to a defensive back then. Now he's the defender, tries to knock the ball away and push him down.
Didn't quite get the separation there. Not quite. So Indiana takes over at the 36-yard line.
Got even, but he wasn't leaving.
It was like the Bates Motel. He checked in. Had to stick around. John Pacey now in a quarterback. He's only thrown one pass. 6'3", 210-pound sophomore. Boy, everyone's got their opinions here, huh? Pacey out of the backfield to Batts. And the freshman puts his hat on a Michigan player and makes it down to the 43-yard line. So Pacey is now 2 for 2 on the season. Well, looking at the Big Ten standings now, this is including Penn State, of course. Michigan, the only undefeated team.
Of course, the Nittany Lions don't actually start Big Ten play until 1993. They were upset today by Boston College.
Flag down on the play. Here's Batts. Yeah, Tim, you bring up a good point, too. When they come into the conference officially, and already they are a member, but what happens to recruiting after that? How does that change the pendulum of recruiting power throughout the East?
I don't think it changes at all. If anything, I think Penn State maintains its level.
Offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
And I say that for this reason. By coming to this conference, Joe Paterno has decided to stay on longer, where he was actually thinking about retirement. And as long as Joe Paterno's there, they'll have quality players from the East.
Mr. and Mrs. Elvis Grbac still in the building.
His name had nothing to do with Elvis Presley. I mean, really, he was not named after Elvis Presley. A lot of people think that. It's their European heritage, and that name is quite common over there.
Second down and 13. Pacey back to pass, make it 3 for 3. Bales, the tight end, out to the 41-yard line. He was tackled by Bobby Powers. Bales 8 catches today for 58 yards. Scores from smaller schools around the country. Northern Michigan losing to Hillsdale. St. John's and Central also winning. Minot and Dickinson State tied at halftime, 6 apiece. And Kearney leading in their battle. The pass is complete to Beatty at the 41-yard line, almost intercepted.
Boy, I tell you, Pacey fired that thing too. He had to. That ball had velocity. Had it not, it would have been picked off.
And that's Beatty's first reception of the day. A guy that was usually a lot busier than that coming into today's ball game, but they put the clamps down on him.
Beatty came in as the second leading receiver, 26 receptions. At 27 now.
Well, there's a timeout down on the field as Indiana gets set to punt. 4:59 remaining.
Our instructions had an error, and 1,000 orders were due Friday.
With the speed of a Xerox digital color copier, you'll get this order on the road again. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together.
We'd like color in our copies, but what small business can afford it?
With Xerox Highlight Color, concerns about the cost of color disappear with just a touch. Intelligent color for any document, only from Xerox.
Putting it together. Like a...
I got an 88 Chevrolet Silverado with 304,000 miles. I drive it to work, 125 miles one way to work, 304,000 miles, still rolling.
This is a 1986 Chevrolet Scottsdale. The truck has now 577,000 miles on it. It always give me my dollar when I needed my dollar.
Chevrolet, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Keep tires on it, keep gas in it, it'll go.
There is a sound that you can expect to hear on the new Riviera. It's the sound of German being spoken by those who now converge on Miami's legendary beach. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer on Ocean Drive, in America, and the world.
Need a fresh start? Get the battery that's proven to start over 50,000 times. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Back in Bloomington, Mark Jones along with Tim Brandt. 4th and 4, and Shannon Rutledge into punt. Mercury Hayes back deep, standing on his own 15-yard line for Michigan. Almost blocked. And here's Hayes. Almost found an alley up the sidelines. And is out to the 37-yard line. Toomer with a nice return of 15 yards after the 37-yard punt. We'll be right back.
I don't believe him. I don't believe him one bit.
I don't believe him.
Trust. I don't know much about Clinton except promises.
He tells everybody what they want to hear.
Well, he wants to spend more money, and the only place he can get it is from the taxpayers.
Higher taxes.
Less food on the table.
Broken promises.
Less clothes on the kids' back.
I don't know how we can take any more taxes.
Less money to go to the doctor.
He's raised taxes in Arkansas, he'll raise taxes here.
Just less of everything.
Things haven't been that great with Steve and me for a while, so it's not a total surprise. Believe me, it's still a little scary being on your own. need to start thinking about money. And I haven't begun to think about that. When I went through this, I sat down with a broker over at P. & Weber. He looked at what I had, and we came up with a plan that basically just let me get on with my life. How did he know what you needed? Fortunately for me, he asked.
This man has 2 of the fastest feet in the world, but even they can't pump a brake as fast as this Chevy Cavalier's standard anti-lock brake system.
Oh, yeah?
Without ABS, no matter how fast your feet are, this can happen.
Whoa!
But to help you stop and steer on slippery surfaces, Cavalier's anti-lock brakes pump on and off up to 15 times a second.
Yeah, but can they do this?
The safety of ABS. What else would you expect from the heartbeat of America?
Well, we have a nice-looking menu of college football next week on ABC. Ohio State, Michigan State, Big Ten, Penn State, West Virginia, Baylor against A&M. That's the game Tim and I will be doing. Georgia Tech, North Carolina, and a Pac-10 game to be announced. All starts at 3:30 Eastern on ABC. And don't forget to call your cable operator to hook up your pay-per-view option.
Yeah, Winnebago out there has a satellite dish. If we're watching the game.
Might be. And this is Walter Smith on the end of the Todd Collins pass out to the 39-yard line, tackled by Morse Richardson. Smith last week did a good job of running the ball. Coming into the game, had 12 receptions for 141 yards.
Clock continues to move. If there is a positive, it's that Indiana's held Michigan scoreless this half. At least that's a moral victory.
Well, since that opening drive of the ball game for them, it has been all uphill. Handoff to Jesse Johnson. And Johnson has the first down at midfield out to the 49-yard line before he's tackled by Chris Dyer, a pickup of 11 yards. We have 4:01 to play. Most of the damage done by Michigan in that second quarter.
They exploded with Wheatley, but again, we tell you it's a positive that Indiana's been able to shut down the Wolverines in the second half. Jesse Johnson's a good-looking running back. Just had that last carry. Ran for 72 yards last week. Had 168 yards against Iowa last season. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. First down and 10. Michigan, though, scoreless here in the second half. Collins into the teeth of the Indiana zone, and it's incomplete. Intended for Malveaux. Now, Tim, let's go inside the mind of Gary Moeller for a second. Are you concerned that they haven't scored here in the second half? I mean, yeah, it was an impressive first half, but you haven't put any points on the board in the second frame.
No, I don't think he's concerned at all. If anything, he is now just trying to keep the timing down. I mean, scoring is not a priority right now. It's just melting the clock and getting out of here with very few injuries and keeping the guys sharp while they have a big lead.
Just saw the drop-off that has been a staple of Michigan's offense in the second half this year. A big run here by Davis. Cuts it back down to the 20. Davis with a nice run down to the 12-yard line, showing good balance and speed. And they just keep coming at you in waves. A pickup of 38 yards. Richardson and Mickens made the tackle for Indiana.
Ed Davis, the tailback, another good one, but look at the block, and they seal it off. He's got that big alley, gets back into the secondary. Now it's a foot race. Try to get some pressure out of the safety. He misses the tackle. Davis now looking for help from the big linemen that are coming downfield. One thing Michigan does, they will put a hat on you. They get downfield quickly. They're throwing blocks from the time the play starts until it ends.
He's in motion. Little counter here to Jesse Johnson. Runs over a tackler. And near the first down marker at the 3-yard line, Chris Dyer finally wrapped him up. Whether it's Davis or Johnson, Wheatley, Ricky Powers, it's all the same result.
Just watch the right side of the offensive line. Watch them engage and then ride. Seal off, and look at this. You got Marinero coming over there, big 73, throws a block that frees him. And then Johnson breaks a tackle. Finally, Dyer is begging for help as he hangs on and gets a ride and takes him down.
First down and goal to go. Backside of the eye. Collins hands it off to Johnson, who's rocked at the 2-yard line.
John Pilch with a pretty good lick there for Indiana, the outside linebacker, number 43.
Tim, if you're Indiana, you'd like to have some kind of success before the game ends here. even if it's cosmetic.
I think it's
extremely cosmetic.
I think it's a fair assessment. I think they've been trying the entire game. They've just been outmanned. It's one of those games where, yeah, you don't want to quit, and they haven't. As a matter of fact, that's what we were trying to say by holding scoreless in the second half, although Michigan now really pushing this thing.
Jesse Johnson stacked up again at the 2-yard line, the second consecutive strong play by that Indiana defense.
Indiana came into this game. They wanted to pinch the perimeter and let the linebackers fill the middle. In other words, have the outside guys coming in hard so that Wheatley and the tailbacks from Michigan would run between tackle and tackle and leave that up to the linebackers. That time, Mills came from the outside. Whittington came from the outside. They did force it back in, and they got good pressure to shut the play.
Third down and goal now. 1:37 to play. He in motion. Collins the toss to Johnson, and he doesn't get in for the third consecutive time. Tripped up inside the 1 at about the foot line. Well, if time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country, and we will have time to get you those scores.
4th down and 1. You've got a minute left in the game. Do you go for the touchdown here?
That's what they're doing.
I don't know. They don't need it.
Well, execution. Work on some situations, I guess, the thinking here by Gary Moeller.
Indiana fans booing.
And they hold them.
They not only hold them. Indiana gets the ball back.
Touchback being signaled.
So Indiana salvages some pride here, stopping Michigan down at the goal line.
Boy, you know what? Joe Novak, the defensive coordinator for Indiana, he ought to go and slap every guy on the helmet and say, hey, congratulations. They could have quit a long time ago, down 31-3 with less than a minute to go, but they have a goal line stand against the third-ranked team in the country. Not only that, but on 4th down and 1, they force the fumble, get it back, and they bring it out to the 20.
We're going to take a break with 44 seconds to go. Indiana ball when we come back.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Good morning.
Norelco doesn't just shave close, but incredibly close. Or merely shave in comfort, but exceptional comfort. Because inside Norelco's floating heads, our lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can drop below skin level without the blades touching your face. And once you've shaved that close and comfortable, you know you'll always be comfortable shaving with Norelco. Norelco, we make close comfortable.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
In a moment of inspiration, Rockport combined the lightweight comfort of its walking shoe with the rugged performance of its hiking boot. The Discovery Series by Rockport. Do not try this at home. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
Now, when the Michigan guys watch the films of this play right here, they're going to give Shea Foster, freeze it right there. Look, here's the ball, and Shea Foster gets the ball hit right there, and watch this. Johnson loses it. Ball's loose. So now Shea Foster, 6'2", 240, they're going to say, hey, we got to work on this.
Get that down to 230, huh? The pass complete by Pacey out to the 40-yard line. Eric Matthews with his first reception of the day. And a pickup of 20 yards. 36 seconds to play. Pacey's lighting it up here since he's come in. It's 4 for 4, 36 yards. And Pacey goes down this time at the 32-yard line.
Well, Michigan goes to 5-0-1, still unbeaten. Well, they'd like to have that 17-17 game over Notre Dame all over again.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Elvis would like to have a few passes back, too. Write a check. This one's over. Casey ends the game just as it started. That boom you heard was Michigan resoundingly thumping Indiana 31-3. And head coach Gary Moeller improves to 30-29-4 overall in his career. Michigan now 5-0-1 on the season. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Tyrone Wheatley from Michigan, who ran the ball very well this afternoon, had a couple of touchdowns, and Ross Hales from Indiana. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. That's all from here. We'll be back with the Thrifty post-game report right after this.
The pep rally will be about 6:30 p.m.
This week on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, AFC Central rivals clash in the Steel City. The Cincinnati Bengals head into Pittsburgh to battle the Steelers. Live. ABC's College Football has been brought to you by the Heartbeat of America, Chevrolet, and your local Chevy dealer. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. By UPS, offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. And by Xerox, the document company. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Promotional fee has been paid to ABC by United Airlines. Come fly the friendly skies.